Welcome back to my channel, Healing with Kearra. Today we're taking a look into will they return? So we have two piles, as you can see here. Pile 1, we have the Star Gem and the Hidden Light Tarot. And pile 2, we have the Cinnamon Gem and the 8th House Tarot. So you can pause it if you need another second to make your selection. As I always say, just go with the very first thing that catches your eye. And the timestamps will always be in the description box. Right there for now. So will they return? So that came out pretty quick. So it's like if they do, I feel like it's going to happen pretty quickly. Yeah, so on the bottom of the deck, we have the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. So that's exactly what I said. Like if they do reach out or if they are thinking about it, it's going to happen really fast. It's like you could have been waiting for a long time for this to come back around or for them to like soften up or be willing to kind of like let you in emotionally. And so that's why there could have, I'm picking up like with this pile, that's why there was like a distance here or a separation, is because the other person became super cold and closed off. And so you were like waiting for them to be more open, or it's like you intuitively knew that it was going to come back around and they would open up again and you would be able to start to get somewhere again. But at one point, they just became so closed off that there was like nothing that you could do. And so it's like you had to kind of wait it out for them to come around to see your side or for them to grow emotionally or to soften in some way as they've gotten older, more mature. So we have the Strength in the reverse. So in the past, they could have been had more of an ego in the sense of like, in order to be a strong person, I have to front in this certain type of way, or like, yeah, be really guarded and closed off and not let people in. But that was just like hurting themselves and other people around them. It was like not a beneficial way for them to function. We have the Three of Swords in the reverse. So it's like they've recognized here that this was harmful, that they were just kind of sabotaging themselves under the guise of thinking that they were doing the right thing or doing the strong thing, being honorable. They almost felt like they had to like be the bigger person or do things in like a higher way, but then they were cutting themselves off or closing themselves off from being able to get super close to others emotionally. So they realized like that could have been like the one thing that they really wanted. So they realized their own actions were what was preventing them from getting close to others in that way, is because they weren't able to allow others to perceive them as like weak. So they weren't able to be vulnerable. And so their own like guardedness, or just like their own energy that they were giving off to protect themselves, was actually what was harming them, because then they're hurting other people, and then that causes separation, which then in turn hurts them. So it's like they have woken up here to realize they were the ones. It is at one time they perceived the situation like you were the one hurting them, or you were the one doing something wrong, and then they woke up and realized you were just not able to take the energy that they were giving you. Is like too harsh, too cold, like they had too much ego, and they were more concerned about like the way they came across than connecting with you emotionally. So they're understanding why you had to separate yourself or put a distance in the situation. You chose to like be the bigger person or take the higher ground and just wait for them to come around or to grow or to be more mature. Like you chose to be like really, really patient and not to be super hurtful back, not to have a huge ego in return. So it's like a lot of your choices and the way you handled the situation that are leading them to make these realizations, and then for them there to be a potential for them to return. So they're realizing they were the ones actually trying to like be the bigger person or make these big choices, but then you, is like you were actually the one being affected by their decisions, and then the way that you chose to handle it and react to the situation and your choices moving forward, you were actually the one that was more mature and the bigger person in the situation, because now, because of the choices that you made and the way that you handled like the pain they were bringing into the situation by like just laying low and being patient and waiting for them to come around, is created a space here for them to realize and see the error of their ways, see how much they were hurting others and themselves, to be able to make the choice to make a change. But it's like they're having to really humble themselves and realize that it's because of you and your actions that there's any sort of possibility for them to return or for it to come back around. So they're seeing you as this very mature person, or this very like noble, wise person, someone who knows how to handle conflict very maturely and just kind of like swerve and move forward, someone who's very like grounded and anchored, and it's making them realize they're not that way, or that they need to reevaluate their choices. Like they're not the one actually making the decisions in the ways that they had previously perceived, or they're no longer seeing themselves as in the way that they did before. They may have saw themselves as like this really strong person, or like they always did the right thing no matter how hard it was, and now they're realizing like that was actually what was bringing the destruction or creating the separation in the situation and bringing harm into their life, and is actually you that they could learn from and grow from in the situation. So we have the Lovers in the reverse. So if they do come back around, it's like once they realize that it's them, they're the ones hurting themselves, they're the ones effing up, if you will, or inflicting pain in the situation, and on themselves, they're their own worst enemy. It's like as soon as they make that realization, very quickly after, then they want to reach out to you because they've been so cold or closed off. It's like they know for certain if there is any chance for things to come back around or for you to come back together, now at this point they have to be the ones to take action and to put themselves out there. And but there's like, because of the choices that you made and how you handled things, they see you in such a light that they feel as though you would be open and receptive to them coming in and trying to return in some way, or repair things in some way, heal things in some way, do things in a different way than they did before, like make different choices and decisions. Yeah, it's like finally growing and maturing to a place where they are able to give back more to a situation than they were able to previously. Um, Cornucopia, prosperity. The earth is plentiful and is reminding you to trust money will flow. Enjoy the fruits of your labor by releasing any fear mindset that blocks abundance. Your value in yourself is the best currency. So I feel like this other person is kind of going through that too, just this huge shift of realizing it's like, even not in regards to like money and things, it's just having that mindset of thinking that you need to do things in this certain way, or sometimes you think you're working super super hard but you're actually limiting yourself. And so being able to release certain things and be a little bit more open-minded is like finally coming to the place that you need to in order to be truly successful in the ways that you desire. So it's like finally the situation's finally open in the right space for it to come back around. Ocean tides, power. You are a force to be reckoned with. Don't underestimate how powerful and beautiful you are. Just like the ocean, face things head on and never stop making waves. That's really good advice. So we're going to actually just get a yes or a no on will they return? Okay. So at the bottom of the deck, we have it's up to you. But again, that's more of the energy I was picking up on, where it's like, because of your choices and the way that you handled things, is created a space now where there is that potential, or the other person feels as though you would be receptive and they could come towards you again. So we have meditation brings answers. So that's really good advice, meditating over the situation. We have look for a sign. And romance. So I'm getting a yes with this pile, but it's like it's going to happen very, very quickly. Like you could have been waiting a long time for it to kind of come around, like I said, but is going to unfold in such a way that it's like once they have these realizations, or are able to make these shifts within themselves, then very, very quickly follow after, then they do like reach out or try and get in contact or do something to I just heard it's like they'll do something to see how you'll respond. So it's almost like kind of put it out there to see how you respond to them. And then it's like based off of your energy and the response that you give them, that there will know whether you're still open and whether they could still continue. So then it's like if you seem really closed off or uninterested, they're like, okay, that's the answer I needed. Or it's like they may do something to test you, is like the wrong word, but just something to kind of like put it out there to see your energy, because may have just like left it, you may have handled the situation very mature to where it kind of left it to where they're thinking like, maybe I could like come back around and like kind of explain the realizations I've come to this person, or try to like heal things here and bring things back together. So then they'll like almost test the waters to see if you're still open in that way, or if that still kind of stands, or if you would just like shut them down. Because yeah, they may be in like kind of a vulnerable place of trying to heal. So if they feel like you're going to be like really closed off or just like shut them down right away, then they will feel like, okay, it might not be worth it. So definitely meditation can help to bring clarity to you in the situation, as far as like what's going to be right for you, is to let this person back in or not. So that's where the it's up to you is also coming in regards to that as well. It's like up to you how you kind of respond, and then it's up to you to make the choice and the decision for yourself what's going to be right for you. Um, and then also, uh, once this person is in this period of starting to have these realizations and start to see things from your perspective and like understand things in a different light, that's whenever you could be getting sort of signs or things could be starting to come up that start to remind you of them or make you think of them very unexpectedly. It's like you've started to move forward from this and haven't been giving as much energy and attention to this. And so you're like, huh, this is kind of like coming out of nowhere. Like, why am I thinking about this person so much? Or why am I getting so many things that are coming up that are reminding me of this person? It's because they could be like having those realizations or thinking about you too. So then it's like that energy is connecting into your life and creating these kind of like coincidences. And then it's like very shortly after that, something kind of pops up that gives you guys the opportunity to reconnect. And then it's like based off of your energy and how you respond to that situation is going to kind of indicate to them whether or not you're ready or receptive to try to heal things or to like hear them out in regards to where they're at that time, or there's like the realizations they've had about the choices that they made that led to the situation at hand or the separation. I'm hearing it might be willing to like hear them out at least if you're not interested in moving forward with this person or reconnecting with this person, because it could create a lot of healing for the both of you to allow them to kind of like get it off your chest, if you will, to um yeah, like let it out and process. It could be a part of their healing journey to kind of need to explain themselves and apologize because they have this they are going through or will be going through this very heavy realization of how greatly their own choices and actions impacted the situation, how much they directly affected things, sabotaged things, how much their choices directly hurt you whenever they were trying to like be strong or do the right thing or do what they thought was right or go about things in the way that they felt comfortable or they knew how or they thought would make them a man or make them a woman or make them whatever they were trying to be, or they felt like they needed to like present. um so yeah, it's like, even, yeah, it's gonna be different for everybody, but it's like even if you're not interested in ever reconnecting or moving forward, or this was just like so painful it's like you don't even want to go back there, it could be worth it to revisit in such a way to just gain a level of like clarity and healing, and the other person kind of taking accountability or responsibility for the weight, the impact, the effect that their actions specifically had, because at one time they were trying to like put things off on you or almost kind of like pin it onto you to, yeah, make you feel as though like you were the one hurting them, or like they had to be really strong because of your choices or something, and they weren't able to see how much that was actually then just them making choices that were hurting you. Yeah, there's this energy where it's like they saw you as like a threat for some reason. They felt like the choices that you were making could like put them in a position to get really hurt, and so they felt like they had to like do the strong thing or be the bigger person and like act in such a way or respond in such a way or come across in such a way, in order to like protect themselves in the situation. But it's like though that wasn't really your intentions, or they weren't seeing you in a clear light, and so then it was actually just their actions hurting the situation or causing the separation. And the whole time in their mind they were perceiving it like I said, like your actions were a threat, or like you were some sort of threat to like potentially hurt them. And then now they're having this realization and having this clarity to see that in fact actually you were being the bigger person and acting a lot more mature than them, and handling things in such a way that, like I said, there is a potential for you to come back together again. So now that they're looking back in retrospect, they don't see you nearly as like shady, um, or like vindictive, or they don't see you in the same light that they did before. So then they have this clarity to see that like there was no need for them to act like that or to try and protect themselves like that or to come across like that. So then they see, they're like, wow, like then I just came across like a bad person or like a hurtful person towards them, when in reality I was just trying to protect myself because the way I perceived them was that they were trying to hurt me. But now they're seeing you're actually like a lot more mature than them. So yeah, your energy is like really powerful here and has created a lot of shifts and changes in this person's life, even if it was kind of like delayed. Because it's like in the beginning I was picking up on is like could have been a long time coming, or you were waiting for a long time for this to kind of come back around and this person to see like your truth, the energy that you were really trying to give off, where you were truly coming from in the situation. Decisions and fear, control. Some decisions and choices that you have made are based in fear and not heart-centered knowledge. Fear is your ego wanting control. Take a step back and make a responsive choice rather than a reactive one. Then you're able to see the truth of the best choice with a calm and centered manner. Good news, positivity. Your prayers have been heard. Good news is on the way. The universe wants you to have expectancy of positive outcomes in your life. You have the power to manifest what you desire of your highest good by co creating with Source. Now it's time to celebrate. So, yeah, this, like I said already, this could have been something that you've really been trying to manifest back around for a long time, and it could have gotten to where it was like so long went by that you almost kind of like gave up on it or just started to kind of like move forward. Not necessarily gave up, but you just stopped believing that or actively thinking about the fact that maybe they would come back around, or you just were kind of like it is what it is and just accepted it and just decided to move forward and like allow yourself to be misunderstood in the situation and just kind of like let it go. It's like right whenever you decide to like let it go and that you don't necessarily care as much, or it doesn't matter as much, you don't have to put so much weight in the situation, then all of a sudden they like come back around like very quickly and unexpectedly. So we have mountain and earth. So, like getting out in nature can be really good to help pass the time. And like hiking, when I hike up mountains, like when you're coming back down, you feel as though you've really like conquered something and accomplished something. You feel closer and more connected with the earth, and it's a huge emotional release, and it's amazing feeling. But if you don't live somewhere where there's like a mountain you could hike, even just going outside and going for a walk, it's amazing, amazing. So with the mountain, we have be patient. So that's kind of like that, finding ways to exercise your emotions like, in a healthy way in the meantime, right? Um, and plan ahead. So it's like looking out for the future while taking care of yourself in the present and getting more grounded and connected. It's a good advice here from Spirit. So we have anger, bottom, and growth. So I'm going to read both of those for you. A very strong and primal emotion, anger sometimes catches us by surprise. At other times, it seethes just under the surface, simmering a long while until it boils over, scalding anyone who is close. Anger is based in fear, fear of loss of control, fear of not being loved, fear of being judged, fear of not being enough. When anger enters your life, be it yours or someone else's, go beneath the surface and try to address the real fear that has triggered it. Anger doesn't go away without addressing the underlying fear. Alternately, beware of someone's anger being directed towards you. So I feel like this is coming up as kind of clarity and confirmation that if this person ever came across like cold or angry to you, it is due to their own fear, that it was their own perception that they had of you, and that your choices or actions could lead to them getting really wounded and hurt. So this person could be very sensitive, and if they really, really cared for you, or they were really attracted to you, or they saw you as a very valuable person or a high level person, then it's like they felt very vulnerable in comparison to you, and to them it was very obvious that your choices and actions could very easily lead to them being hurt. And so then they had to react in a certain way in order to preserve that or protect that part of themselves. So they could have like hid certain parts of themselves from you, or like lashed out whenever you were trying to connect with certain parts of them. And that's where this anger is truly stemming from, is like their own internal insecurities. And there's either going through or in the future going to be going through the realization that that wasn't actually the strong way to handle it, that wasn't actually the strong way to react. And it's not only hurting you, but in fact they're actually hurting themselves more. So they're not defending themselves, they're not protecting themselves from getting hurt by you, and then they're actually just being the ones to hurt themselves. And so it's, to them, they're having this energy of just like, wow, like what a literal waste of my energy and efforts. Is kind of like gonna hit them like this very heavy realization of like, I was doing the very thing to myself that I was afraid of other people doing to me, and then I was also doing it to them. So it's like even worse than what they were fearing. So that's kind of like a lot to realize and go through, or a lot to kind of take on and understand. And it definitely shows a lot of growth in an individual to be able to come to those realizations and to have that sort of perspective. This situation or time is one of rapid growth. The seeds that have been planted have germinated and taken root. Go with the flow of this growing time. You may find people and situations falling away from your life as they do not serve who and what you are becoming. It may be that your vibration no longer resonates with theirs. It's okay. Wish them well. Be grateful for what they brought to you and you to them, and send them on their way. Room has now been made for new experiences, people, and situations to help you to your next level. If you're not feeling this shift right now, be prepared, because it will soon come to pass. So you and this other person could be going through that, and that's another thing that's helping them. Because yeah, they're definitely going through a time where they're growing very rapidly as a person, and their perspectives are shifting very quickly and coming to understandings. And yeah, with that, it does usually indicate a releasing of a lot of different things. And then with that, it kind of frees them up, or makes that space for them to like think of you and have those realizations in regards to the situation with you. And yeah, it makes them, I'm hearing it's like making them feel as though there's something that they should do about it, or see if there is a possibility that there could still be something that they could do about it. And if so, it's like go ahead and act on that before it's too late. So there's almost this like rushing in, like Knight of Swords type of energy that I'm getting in my head, of them like not being able to get there fast enough, because there's like a fear that it'll be too late, or you'll no longer be as receptive and open to them, because you may have been very like open and receptive to them growing, or things kind of coming back around for a long time, and it's like they knew that, or they were aware of that, and now they're feeling as though they like took advantage of that, or like your openness, or there's this feeling of like, if you are willing to still connect with them, they're going to be like very, very grateful or like very understanding of the fact that like you don't have to like be there anymore or something. So it's like they're going to be a lot more grateful and appreciative of you after having this sense of like fear that it's almost too late after realizing the full weight or the full impact of like their actions and choices in regards to the situation. Yeah, it's like they can't get there fast enough to like make sure that it's all okay or that things will be able to be healed or that you'll be able to hear them out or understand where they're coming from, or it's like they won't be able to like get it out fast enough. Yeah, so you may need to kind of like take your time to like process it and digest it and not let them like rush or go at that pace so much. It's like know that that's coming from a place of like fear that they're going to lose out on any sort of opportunity or in the future or whatever. So you know in your mind like if giving them another opportunity would be right for you, and so if so, then it's like you know that there's no need to have that fear, and so it's okay to kind of slow down and take your time to reconnect and go about things in a way that is going to be right for you and most in alignment for you, make you feel really comfortable, bring the most healing to you both in the situation. So that's all I have for pile one. Looking into will they return. So if you watch this far into the reading, I really, really appreciate it. If you would like a more personal reading, you can use the link in my description. But I hope you have a really great day. Thank you. If you're still here, as I was moving this, success popped out. So whoever is still here and still watching this right now, you are going to be very successful. Should you choose to do whatever you were kind of thinking or whatever was in your brain as I was ending this reading, should you choose to move forward in the way that you're thinking, you're going to have a lot of success here. It's going to bring you the outcome that you are looking for. So whoever is still watching gets that little bonus there. So pile two, the 8th house tarot and the little cinnamon stone, we're looking into will they return? So we have the Knight of Water, and then the Lovers, Gemini, on the bottom of the deck. So I can't pick up right now I'm getting a yes. It's like with the Knight of Water, there is someone who wants to come back towards you and make some sort of emotional offer. There's an energy to where it's like something that you never thought would happen. You never expected this. You never believed that this person would come back around and offer this to you. They could be marrying you. It's either like they also never believed that they would do this, or they don't have genuine intentions. It's like fake and misleading, or they offer their cup to like a lot of people. And so this is going to bring a lot of, it's like, it's not necessarily special, or like it's going to bring a lot of, like a downpour of emotions into your life, or bring a lot of like heaviness around you. There's the one energy to where it's like you never thought this was possible, or that you could like have this person back in your life again, but then um the very thing that you had like wanted back so bad ends up bringing like so much chaos and heaviness around you, or like into your life in some way. Or okay, there's also this energy to where it's like it's gonna feel like it's too good to be true. And it is. It's like this person is specifically like watching you or reading you, and then trying to mirror back what they think that you would want. So they're trying to come towards you and present um, themselves in such a way that is exactly what you would want, or exactly what you're looking for. So it's like it seems like it came out of nowhere. It's like there's no way that this could exist. It's like this person could have wanted back into your life for a long time, and there was this energy where it was like completely unrealistic, or there's no way that was ever going to happen. And so they had to almost like rebrand themselves, or like go and find a way to show up in such a way that would be totally unexpected and new and different, or something that you totally didn't see coming, in order to try to like win your favor. And so they had to kind of like study you over time and figure out like what you like, or what you want, or whatever your interests are. And then they're like mirroring you. They're trying to show up as if they're mirroring you, or trying to present as if they're like the perfect person, as if they're into like everything that you're into. But it's almost like too, it's almost like freaky. It's like there's, it's almost like I said, it's like too good to be true. It's like too perfect, too in alignment. It's like what they're saying is too on point. It's like whatever your interests are, those are their interests too. Whatever direction you want to go in, they want to go in that direction too. Like however you want to take the relationship, they want to take it that way too. Like um, whatever, however you see things, they also see it that way. Um, yeah, to where you're like, okay, could I have really met someone who's like basically my twin? Or is this person um just telling me everything I want to hear? Or they're showing up in such a way that like you never thought that you would meet someone like that, or almost seems too good to be true that you would connect with someone like that. And it's like you could, the possibility is out there that you could meet someone like that, or connect with someone like that. Like you do deserve that, and you are on that caliber. But this person is particularly just not genuine, in the sense that they're presenting and showing up like that on purpose, because they know that that's what you want, or that that's what will attract you to them, or make you choose them, or more likely to choose them, rather than that's actually who they authentically are. And then you guys actually just authentically connected over those things. So if there's something about it that doesn't seem quite right, it's like definitely go with your intuition, because the situation could bring a lot of like heaviness, or just a lot of like very intense emotion around you, or like a lot of disillusion, to where it's going to be kind of hard to see through the way you feel once you like let this person in emotionally. Your judgment will become very clouded, because they're feeding you back just like everything that you want to hear, exactly what you want to see. And so it will be hard to like use your intuition and make the proper choices in the decision. Like even if something doesn't feel quite right, it will seem like so perfect on paper that it will be hard not to like make that choice. Even if it kind of then in turn comes back on you like more negatively, it's like going to be really hard to see that because there's a lot of like games and disillusion and like energy being projected, and so it will like affect the way that you can see. So it's like early on you're going to need to go with your intuition before you get too deep in the situation or too like emotionally connected to this person, like before you give too much away, especially as far as like trust. um you want to like dig deeper or like really get to the nitty gritty of like what this person's intentions are, moving forward, or just like how they operate, rather than being kind of like complacent and just getting in this energy of like it is what it is, or like going with the flow. Because then that could definitely put you in like a really bad headspace or feeling like you have to free yourself or remove yourself once you're already like underneath something or like in the heaviness or in the weight, and then it's going to be a lot harder to like walk away and remove yourself or free yourself from the situation, especially if it's like the second or third time around. um it's like you've already been through this, you've already seen where it can get or where it can go with this person, so you don't want to get back into that place before you realize they're just like mirroring you and showing you what you want to see and what you want to hear, and that it is kind of like unrealistic to think that um, you guys could like move forward in this way, because like you have to base things off of like reality and how things have went up until this point and like why you came to this place of having this kind of like a separation. um, so that's the bottom of the deck. Yeah. So you have a choice between going back to this person or meeting someone new. Because we have the King of Water right away, and the Two of Air, and the Knight of Earth. So you have a choice in this situation. You literally get to choose exactly how it's going to go, but you may not see that, or you may be in denial of that. Also, it's like this, okay, this other energy wants you to like stay kind of stuck or hung up and not be able to see anything else in front of you moving forward. And so that could be the very reason why this person's going to come back around and present themselves as exactly what they think that you want, in order to get you hung up and caught up and kind of like stuck in a place of like not being able to be open to move forward and see the new opportunities around you. So I'm feeling like this person from the past is this Knight of Water. We have water and fire. So um could be a water or a fire sign. Doesn't have to be though, but it's like this person wants to keep you locked up in this situation. As soon as I flipped this card, I felt like this was this person that we're thinking about, of like, will they return or not? And then this is you here, right? Trying to make a choice, but you don't have the full information. You don't have a full clear picture of what's really going on. This person is just like showing you what they want you to see in order for you to continue to make choices that keep you in a position that makes them feel secure in the connection, that you're not going to move forward and, you know, see the other opportunities around you or connect with anyone else, be vulnerable or show yourself to anyone else. Because while you also can't see the new connections and opportunities around you, you're also not fully like showing yourself to other people and giving yourself that opportunity to connect. So it's like they want to keep you drawn in, held back, kind of blinded by what's really around you. And there could be someone very much in particular around you that spirit knows about, or that like it's like spirit knows their heart and their interest, or this other person knows that there's like other people interested in you generally, or they could have just like caught wind that there's like one particular person interested in you, so they felt like they needed to up their game or up their tactics, like they couldn't just sit around and like let you move on or something. Yeah, we with the key, or with the Knight of Earth, it's like could be an earth or an air sign. But it's like you have other opportunities around you. It's just like it's just going to be a little bit different because you don't know those other people as well. You're not as comfortable and as established. Whereas is with this other person, there's this set connection, there's this comfortability. You're kind of like, already established in this relationship. So it's almost easier to fall back into that and believe that it could go into like a better, healthier direction. Kind of like lie to yourself, because that is just like very secure. And it's been a long time since you really opened yourself up to see how many other options there were around you. And so it's like, even though you don't know those people as well, as like kind of a journey of like getting close to them, getting to know them, going through all of this stuff, it seems really overwhelming or scary, or like this kind of like long process. It'll like take a long time to, go through all this, but it's like it could be worth it to yeah, go through that process of like growing with someone and getting to know someone all over again, letting someone see you and get to know you all over again, because then where it could get to in the future could be a lot more stable and grounded, and just in alignment with you, whereas this other individual is maybe not necessarily, but is just uncomfortable with the idea of you moving on, and so they want to come back and present themselves that they've changed, or that they are going to be more in alignment with you now, or that they are going to make you a lot happier. But it's like, if you look at the reality of the situation, then you'll see that it's actually could be a lot healthier of a choice for you to just choose to move forward. But it's hard to make those choices whenever you're letting someone else kind of control your perception of the environment around you, or your perception of yourself and your environment. Ocean tides, power. You are a force to be reckoned with. Don't underestimate how powerful and beautiful you are. Just like the ocean, face things head on and never stop making waves. So that's really good advice. Bridge the gap. Communication. Walking across a bridge is easier than treading through water. Viewing both sides of a situation can create compassion and clarity. You're being asked to reach common ground to see both points of view. So it's like, for in regards to this new person that could be around you, like being willing to open up and communicate could bridge that gap to kind of give you the information to know, like, okay, maybe there's a lot more possibility and potential here, a lot more room to grow in this situation than I had once previously seen. Is like, maybe I don't need to stay stuck in these situations with the past, or hoping that people will kind of come around. It's like, being willing to like put yourself out there and see other opportunities around you in a deeper light. And there's just an energy of seeing both points of view more clearly, like seeing this past person and future possibilities. It could be one specific person in particular, but it's like just seeing both sides a lot more clearly, rather than whatever energy you've been kind of like struggling in thus far. So we're going to get a yes or a no and see if this person return. The sun's going down here where I live. So sorry, the light is changing a little bit on us. So we have be assertive. The bottom. And communicate clearly is underneath that. So I feel like these kind of go together here. Be assertive, communicate clearly. The situation will improve. So that's some advice in order to help facilitate that. Within the next few months. So the situation will improve within the next few months, but let's get an actual yes or no. So we've reconsider. So if this person does reach out to you, Spirit is saying reconsider your response. Also reconsider whether or not you desire to have this person to reach out to you. Because within the next few months, you could find yourself in like a completely different space emotionally. You could meet someone completely new and be so thankful that you didn't end up going back to this person. So yeah, it's like twofold. It's the energy to where it's like reconsider your perspective and the way that you are viewing the situation, for one. And then two, if this person does return, then you're going to want to reconsider the way that you would have, or the way that you're going to kind of communicate with this person and be more assertive, um, in order to help the situation to improve. So that may not seem like it's going to help, because you might think, well, if I'm more assertive, then it's going to push them away. But then it opens up a space for you to connect with someone that's going to communicate with you in a more healthy way, right? And you're not going to be afraid to communicate in a certain way and then push them away or to mess things up or whatever was going on before. It's like you're not going to have to deal with that in every single connection. And so kind of healing that mindset. Yeah, just in the next few months in general, things in your life could start to improve. Could meet new people, or just, yeah, start to go new places, or just kind of like level up. You could just kind of look back and feel like you're like in a whole new place, on a whole new level, in a whole new space. And then you're like not even really wanting to hear from this person, or not even really interested anymore. And then it's like right when you get to that point, that's whenever they're going to reach out again. And then it's going to be a lot easier for you to like assert yourself and what you really want and what you really need, or it's going to be a lot easier to figure out a lot more quickly whether or not this person's going to be in alignment with you or give you what you need. Past life karma, cycles. This indicates a past life is the reason why the intense energy surrounds you, the person, or situation. Look into ways to clear past life karma and see the bigger picture of the situation by viewing it from a lesson perspective. Taking ownership for your part and forgiveness are key in releasing past life karma. Good news, positivity. Your prayers have been heard. Good news is on the way. The universe wants you to have expectancy of positive outcomes in your life. You have the power to manifest what you desire of your highest good by co creating with Source. Now it's time to celebrate. So, yeah, it's like I'm hearing like your prayers have been heard. Oh, we just read that. But it's like something that you could have been praying for a long time. It's like Spirit had you in mind all along. It wasn't leaving you out or forgetting you. It's just like you had to come to a place where you're able to see things really clearly in order to be open to Spirit making the proper changes. So you have to be ready to release certain things and be done with certain cycles from your past in order to be free to step into the new, or you to be clear to step into the new. So we have present. I'm hearing like the present is a present. It's a gift. Every moment we're being given an opportunity to grow and to realign ourselves and to learn from what we're going through. And it is truly a wonderful opportunity and gift. Canyon. Whenever you're deep in it, deep in the trenches, it can be hard to see your way out or see the bigger picture, but the present is still a gift or an opportunity to realign yourself, refocus, grow, get back on your feet. So we have be mindful and look at the bigger picture. Advice from Spirit: be mindful and look at the bigger picture. So especially like in the moment, realizing like even if it's not the best day, it's still better than your worst day. And so seeing things in a bigger picture helps to have that sense of mindfulness, to understand, like I was saying, in each moment we're being given an opportunity to refocus, recenter, grow, deepen our connection to Spirit. And we have more opportunities and tools around us to create that positive change that we desire. Then you can see at times, like whenever you're, like I said, just kind of deep in the trenches. Emotional release. Bottom. And new beginnings. So I'm going to read both of those for you. We all want to be strong. As humans, we value strength and independence, but also as humans, we need the support of our family, our friends, our tribe. Trying so hard to be strong, pushing down emotions such as fear, anger, betrayal, sadness, only forces them to grow and become stronger. The bubbling up and release that eventually comes takes everyone involved by surprise, and sometimes does harm in terms of hurt feelings and words that cannot be taken back. Get into the practice of voicing your feelings, even if it's just acknowledging them to yourself. Journal, create, dance. Find a way that you can safely feel your most feared emotions. Feel them and let them go. This is a potentially deep healing for you. Water, emotion, energy, all life affirming and life giving. Patience is the key. Once the doldge of emotion passes, you will see that left in its wake is a wondrous new day, a rainbow of possibilities. Do not get attached to the emotions that surround this situation. This will only attach your identification with the emotions itself, giving it more power and hindering the release so that the door to your new beginning will not open. Sit in the emotion, cry, journal, talk it out with a friend, and then let it go. Perform a ritual if you are called to one. Place your feelings on a bit of paper and then let it go, whether through water or fire, both excellent transmuting elements. Be thankful for the experience of the situation and proclaim to Creator that you are ready for the newness that is about to come into your life. So, yeah, that is a perfect message here, going through a huge emotional release, and the New Beginnings card was kind of saying the same things. It's like this is all a part of the hot process of healing and releasing what needs to be seen and acknowledged in order to move forward in the best way and not get um, caught up or stuck in any of these like heavy emotions in a situation that kind of feels off or just a little bit too good to be true in the first place. It's like you could have been in this cycle for a long time and you've seen everything that you need to see or learned everything that you need to learn up until this point. And it's like your spirit is kind of itching or ready for something new. So even if you can't sense that or feel it right now, just within the next few months, things could start to improve for you or start to get better once you practice that mindfulness and looking at the bigger picture. It starts to kind of shift your reality and helps bridge that gap for you to get to the other side of things and then look back with more perspective and see yourself and the situation a lot more clearly, and you're able to see the new and exciting opportunities around you. Like I said, even if it feels a little bit comfortable to step into a new direction, because it's going to take a lot longer to get back to that same place of comfortability or connection with someone in a relationship. It's like it may not end up being as much work or taking as much time as you think or feel or would previously perceive. It may go a lot more smoothly and quickly once you can kind of get off the ground, but it does take a little bit longer to call in like a more higher level soulmate or someone who's more emotionally in alignment with you. You're going to have to wait a little bit longer or get to a more healthy space within yourself in order to be in alignment with that. But it's worth it to go through that process, to take that time, to be patient, to work on ourselves, and to get to that place to where we can be open and receive something like that in our lives, rather than to constantly go back to what's more comfortable or to stay like more stuck in connections with people who are just trying to present themselves as exactly what we need, exactly what we're looking for, in order to just like keep us held down in that cycle or in a place that they feel comfortable having us in, rather than being able to step forward, to grow, step into the new, manifest new abundance in our lives. And you always want to like follow the path um, that you're being called to, or like the situations that spirit would have you in are going to be so worth it. It's like worth it to venture into that unknown, unexplored territory. It could be an energy too of like it's taken quite a bit of healing to get to a place where you believe that it is possible and capable for you to have the type of connection that you would want, like a more higher level, spiritually conscious type of relationship. Is taken you a long time, or you to come to this place, and a lot of healing and inner work on yourself to realize that that is not just like um yeah, the perfect, like the type of like spiritual partner that you need isn't just like a unicorn or something that doesn't exist or is just completely out of touch or unrealistic that you would ever like find that or have that in your life. Is actually like a lot closer to you, or a lot more accessible to you, or available around you than you would realize. It's just you have to be willing to like open up your eyes to the environment that you're in or the opportunities that are actually around you, and be willing to once and for all release and let go of the things that have kind of proven to you over and over time that though you do have a great bond and connection, you do care about this person a lot. It's like there's not any more for you here to like learn and grow, or it's no longer emotionally in alignment with you or spiritually in alignment with you, um, in order to justify like continuing to hang on to like what you once had or the memories or something. It's like you are capable, it's fully realistic for you to believe that you could move forward and manifest the type of relationship or connections, to have the type of life that you would envision or that your highest self would hope to have or believe that you could. So, like, don't stop dreaming. And then, like, in the meantime, yeah, it's like be mindful of your own self doubt or your own kind of like sabotaging yourself or kind of telling yourself that it's unrealistic, you're unworthy, you can't ever have the things that you desire, because it's gonna be like your energy here. Um, Once you get to a more healthy place, then it's like you're gonna be really, really thankful that you allowed yourself to get to that place and you didn't um, go back to like something else that was like very heavy or kind of burdensome on you to some degree. Or yeah, it's like in the future you'll look back on it and reconsider like whether or not you actually really did want that to come back or whether or not that was a prayer that you wanted answered. There's like that Brad Paisley song that's like some of the best things that God does for us are our unanswered prayers. He's like singing about all these different people he dated like through his younger years and how he like thought it would be so great. He wanted it so much. And then the person that he ended up marrying was like way better than he ever could have imagined or like way more out of his league than he ever could have thought or like just so much better. And he was just like, so he was like taking the time out of his day to actually sit there and say thank you to God for not answering some of his previous prayers or having like a higher perspective or a higher vision of where he could get in his life. So yeah, that really resonates. That's a nice song too if you like country music. um Unanswered Prayers, Brad Paisley. Yeah. So yes, that I'm gonna leave it on that. Um that song and this energy here. Like kind of reconsidering um what is it that you really want actually. Um Not just do you want this person to return or reach out to you or reconnect with you again. It's like what would actually make you really happy or really fulfill you in this situation. So with this here, it's like maybe not even be assertive and communicate clearly with the other person or other people involved, but also in regards to yourself, like be really assertive, really honest with yourself. Don't be afraid to dig deep and see, the underlying truth of what's going on within you emotionally in order to make the best well-informed healthy decision. You may have to make like a decision in regards to the situation in the near future, but it's like within the next few months you're going to start to feel a lot better about whatever choice or decision had to be made. It's like in the future you're not going to be in the same space that you have been in, right? Um, so yeah, really, really beautiful. It's like your inner power is just naturally shifting and releasing, and you've already done a lot more in the situation without even realizing it. So once you knowingly step into your power, you can just imagine how quickly things are going to turn around and start to change for you and start to improve. So that is all I have for pile two. So if you watch this far into the reading, I really, really appreciate it. If you'd like a more personal reading from me, then you can use the link that's in my description. And I hope you have a really great day. Thank you.